Welcome back to the Barry Charles Footy Show, your one-stop shop for everything rugby league. And yes, indeed, this weekend gave us headline after headline after headline. Yes, rugby league is back, baby, and finals is around the corner. And some teams are faltering when they were expected to make the top four, South Sydney Rabbitohs. But there are some very, very interesting games coming up in the next couple of weeks that will decide your team's fate. And some team like Parramatta Eels are gone after losing this week. So yes, what we're going to talk about, well, of course we're going to talk about Latrell Mitchell. Does he deserve to get suspended? Will he fight the charge? That's for you guys to debate with me. The Rabbitohs season is in turmoil with another shocking performance against the Knights. The Roosters resurgence, where has this come from? 3 in a row. Are they a chance, a sneaky chance? Clearly the Knights 7 in a row. What's doing there? Do I have to change my thoughts of last week? They are absolutely on fire. Ponga's on fire. And of course, what's happening with a couple of players? Corey Oates, is he going to be on the way out of the Broncos? Looking for a bit extra moolah. And Justin Olam is dead and gone at the Storm. Apparently he wants to stay there and fight for his position. But Sam Burgess came a knocking, but can some other NRL teams come a knocking and he might change his tune and join them? Well, a lot to wrap up in this show. Let's get to it here on the Barry Charles Footy Show. Remember to like and subscribe if you liked the video. Let's get to it. Latrell Mitchell had a brain fade. Yes, in the closing minutes of the game, he's put an elbow to the back of Tyson Frizzell, and he's got 1 week, possibly two weeks to be fighted if he doesn't beat the charge. I'd be fighting it. If it was me, I would be fighting it. Because to be honest, I could argue that was accidentally going down. It's just you're bracing yourself going down to, but people will argue the other way. To me, it was just a penalty, and that's it. Not even a sin bin. If there was something like that motion, then I would totally agree, like a couple of weeks. But he was just going down, and his elbow just got on the road. I question if that was really worth a penalty. He's going to argue that in the comments, but I just think that's, to me, is a ridiculous call to take someone out of a game as big as the Roosters game is craziness. But we got Blake Taft. Blake Taft will have the faith for you Rabbitohs fans. But that's not all bad news. What the hell is happening with the Rabbitohs? Absolutely going to the decline. Another big loss, 29-10 against the Knights. Mitchell and Cody Walker had no answers. What are they doing? They have absolutely fallen off a cliff. It's like they played for New South Wales, especially Cody Walker, and he hasn't turned up since. I don't know what has happened. They've absolutely fallen off the band, and they've just gone. And again, this is a good question and point. The old Wayne Bennett saga is coming back now to haunt them. Yes, even though last year they made the preliminary final, the Wayne Bennett effect is finally caught up with the Rabbitohs, as generally they go backwards once Wayne Bennett leaves the club, and this is what's happening at the Rabbitohs. Yes, they got away with it last year, but this year they are absolutely struggling, and to be honest, I don't see them winning. I mean, they can. Put it this way, the Rabbitohs have actually got the wood on the Roosters of recent history. But on current form, you would have to pick the Roosters. The Rabbitohs are going to have to do something Herculean to turn this around, because it's going to be, clearly it's more than likely going to be a must-win match. Especially if the Roosters are Roosters going to win this week, I'm sure of that. So yeah, and Roosters will leapfrog them if they're in the 8th spot. So that's the danger, and there's always Cowboys knocking around the backfield depending on how they go this week. The Rabbitohs season is absolutely in turmoil, and I don't know what they need to do. They need to find the answers quickly. They've only got 2 weeks to find it out. If they don't find it, they're in absolutely big trouble. The Rabbitohs, just going backwards. The Roosters, 3 in a row, absolutely. But to be honest, who have they beaten? Not much. The Dolphins, Sea Eagles, and the Eels, an understrength team with Mitchell Moses out. So I think the jury's still out on the Roosters, but they're probably playing better than the Rabbitohs currently, and now with the way everything's falling into place, they could sneak into 8 in a couple of ways. Now, well, they have to win both their games. Don't get me wrong. They have to win both their games. So they will leapfrog the Rabbitohs for a start, which will probably put them 8th anyway. But the Cowboys are still a bit of a scenario here. So the Cowboys win 2, then the only way the Roosters will get in is if the Raiders lose both their games. So that is what's happening here at the moment. So the Raiders are a chance of getting completely knocked out as well. They're getting less likely the way the results are going, but the Raiders can get completely knocked out. Yeah, if they lose their next two, and two of the teams below them, so they'd be the Rabbitohs, Cowboys, or the Roosters. Two of those teams win 2 in a row and sneak past them. That is the danger for you Raiders fans out there. But the Roosters have turned it around. But yeah, really, we'll see. If they beat the Rabbitohs, yes. But again, are you convinced they could beat the Sharks? No, they can probably beat the Sharks, to be fair. But can they beat Knights on current form? It's probably very doubtful, but they do have a team that's capable of doing it. Because they'll be one of those two teams more than likely who you'll be playing against. Raiders, at least Raiders sneak a win against the Broncos, they can really put it. That if Raiders win, then it's a do or die game for both. Well, it is a do or die game for the Roosters and the Rabbitohs anyway, because one of them will have a chance of making the top 8. Apart from that, what else is happening in Rugby League? Well, what's doing Newcastle Knights fans? You must be getting excited. 7 in a row. And the Warriors are similar, running away at 6 in a row, I believe. These two are really starting to hit their stripes. These two teams, the Newcastle Knights and the Warriors, the two main dangers to the hot penny Panthers, as well as the Broncos. The Storm got the win, but after that performance, you can't be convinced. But Pappenhausen being back is going to make life interesting. And it's interesting to see if they start him or put him on the bench. I think a lot of people are expecting him to go on the bench, but I think he has to start because there's no point sitting back and putting him on the bench. He needs to start, and they got to figure out if he's ready enough to play finals football. He has to have 2 solid 80-minute games to be ready, and they're having the committee on the sidelines if he's not ready. I think that's basically what they've got to do. They're going to be in the finals regardless. There is a bit of a top 4 issue though if he is a bit out of form. But Pappenhausen will be very, very interesting to the side when he comes in. As I've said before, it's going to be interesting when he returns. The Warriors got it done, not convincingly, but they got a few refs calls against them with the finger of Olakauatu going to Jason Saab's try, and then another one that could have been a shepherd. So with Daly Cherry Evans. So and yes, as I was Anthony Seibold, of course, this is something else I was going to talk about. Anthony Seibold being a crybaby. Yes, absolutely crybaby over the non-penalty to Ruben Carrick. I actually sort of agree with what he was, in technical terms, you look at it, it's a penalty. But in terms of the actual rules of the game, of the balls bouncing, it's not a kick in the air that you're able to tackle someone that's up in the air. So that's just the current rules there. I think they will change their rule, I think, after that, because if they happen to get someone injures their neck, then the NRL will be in trouble. So I clearly suspect there will be a rule change there to make it, but it doesn't help Manly. But yeah, the Warriors just keep on winning, folks. People are saying, yeah, they're playing no one good, but they keep winning. Now, this is not the old Warriors. Normally, the old Warriors would lose these games and be out of the back door. They are winning. They are playing the style of football that can win a grand final. Don't get me wrong. They play up the middle. Question marks clearly at the moment. You would say the thing that's going to cost the Warriors is their young centres dropping the ball and some defensive lapses at times. That's what's going to, if they don't tighten that up, they won't make the grand final. But if they tighten that up, they are the real deal in 2023. The Knights, I'm not so convinced, but then Jared Hayne did it in 2009, got them to a grand final. Kayln Ponga is playing that sort of football now, that he could carry the team all the way there. But they need a bit more than just him, I think, if they're going to go far in the series. But it'll be interesting because if the Knights get through the first round, then you expect they'll play Warriors and then a Storm. Yeah, so it's not like absolutely super, super hard if they get through their first round. I think if you can get through the first round, you've got a chance. But it's going to be getting to the preliminary finals. It's going to be all footy, baby. But yeah, Anthony Seibold. Yeah, his Manly probably the most disappointing team of the comp this year. People will say the Rabbitohs if they don't miss it. Yeah, clearly as well. But Manly were flying high at the start of the season, all roses. And it's just turned to shame with a for the Manly singles. And finally, what's happening with Corey Oates and Justin Olam? Yes, Corey Oates, he talks that he wants to get out of the Broncos, whether this is true or not, because he wants more of a payday. Well, I don't know if he's going to get much more of a payday anywhere else. A few clubs might give it to him, but do you want to win a premiership or not? Question mark, will he be in the team? He's not been in the first choice for much of the season, so that's the question mark for him. Is he going to get another starting berth, or is he better the move? So let's just have a look at him. And also Justin Olam, where would you want to put him as well? Corey Oates, well, if you're looking premiership-wise, well, where do you go? Where could you go? Rabbitohs? Do they have enough money? Don't think so. If you're looking at teams that could possibly improve next year, maybe the Bulldogs. I really think the Bulldogs could go to another level next year. I'm not sure if Toby Sexton's the answer. Number 7 is a big question mark for them, if they could get a number 7. Or another fullback as well was another question for the Bulldogs. But the Bulldogs should be improving next season. Should, no guarantee, but they should be improving. Stronger roster next year, and if they add a few more additions. But yeah, otherwise, like Corey Oates, well, obviously you could go to the Titans maybe, Des Hasler. That's probably another one. Cowboys, I don't think Cowboys really seem to be going for these older players either. So yeah, Titans probably, if he's looking for somewhere else. I mean, they're talking the Knights. Obviously it's an opportunity, but does he want to leave Queensland? That'd be another question you'd have to ask about Corey Oates. What about Justin Olam? I'll tell you one. It's not going to happen, but I'll tell you what, he wouldn't be a bad choice for the Warriors, just to stiffen up the defence and the centres. He would be a handy acquisition, I believe, at the moment. But the two young centres have the talent to deliver, whether they can do it all the time. Rocco Berry reminds me a bit of a Shaw Kenny-Dow sort of type player. And Adam Pompey, well, he's just these drop balls are costing him. But if he can turn that around, then obviously they're a big chance. But yeah, Justin Olam, the Warriors would be a good fit for him. From all reports, it looks like he doesn't want to leave Melbourne. But if he was going to leave Melbourne, where else would you go? Yeah, Titans again seems to be a team on the rise as well. Bulldogs would love to have him. Clearly, the Tigers would love to have him. Dragons as well. But yeah, strong clubs. Broncos. Yeah, maybe they'll replace who we find with. Possibility there. That's another option there. But anyway, with the football coming up, there's some big games. I mean, the Sharks Knights. That's going to be very big. There's going to be a big game coming up. That's probably going to decide who going to come 5th and 6th nearly. They might be 5th and 6th anyway, but there's a possibility they could decide who's going to have a home final and not going to, depending on how the Raiders go. But yes, the Rabbitohs are in big trouble. If you're Rabbitohs fans, I've got real concerns they're going to miss the top 8. They can do it with a win. That's all they have to do is win a game. They'll be in the top 8, but the likelihood of them winning the game at the moment does not look likely. But they have got a good record against the Roosters currently, so that is the positive for you Rabbitohs fans out there. But Parramatta are gone clearly, as I had stated earlier in my predictions at the start of the year. They were going to not make the top 8, and it's proven to be correct. I just don't think their team improved this season, and obviously their slow start to the year, the tough draw has come back to bite them. They just haven't been able to handle it when a few injuries have occurred. Yeah, we're getting down to real. It's going to be an interesting finish here because the Knights are not safe yet, but they got Dragons in the last round, so they should be safe. So it's the Raiders, Roosters. So 2 of these teams are going to miss out: Roosters, Cowboys, and Rabbitohs. So these are the 4 basically. So the Raiders lose 2, they'll probably be gone. The Rabbitohs lose, they're definitely gone. Roosters lose 1 of the last 2 games, they're definitely gone. And yeah, so it's going to be a big... And the Knights, if they lose their last 2, will probably be gone. There could be a sneak chance. 12.5 is enough to get in. Probably not. I don't think so. 12.5 not going to make it now. No, 12.5 not going to make it after. There was a chance. But no, with the Raiders winning, no, that chance is gone. So, yeah, so they're going to need one more win to get them near the Knights. More than likely, one more one's going to have to do it. There's a sneaky chance 12.5 can get them 8th. So there is a sneaky chance. Depending, and they got the Cowboys as well. But yeah, so there is a sneaky chance 8th is still there for Knights. at 12.5. So they could be the final spot, 12.5, if the Knights do not win another game. But I'm expecting them to beat the Sharkies. So, but we'll talk about that later in the week. But anyway, thank you for watching the Barry Charles Footy Show. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back with another video shortly.